Hey there, everybody. Really excited about today's interview that I have with Mr. Chase Scroggins. Met Chase about maybe 2 years ago at a conference, the $1 Million Mastermind Conference out in, God, where were we at? Dallas, Texas, I believe.
Dallas. Yep.
Ryan Stewman's event. You were being an usher for the event. The reason why he was being an usher for the event is he is such a grower and such a learner. I don't. He may tell me wrong, but I don't think he was able to pay the money for the full event. And to, it's not a cheap event; it's a great event. A lot of great speakers there. My partner Tracy Cousineau, she spoke there as well. But it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap to fly to Dallas, to stay in Dallas, fly back to Atlanta, pay for the event. So he became an usher, which allowed him to go to the event. Allowed opportunities, I believe, in being an usher of the event versus just holding a ticket to the event. Ryan Stewman recommended that he meet with Tracy and I since he was from Atlanta. We're from Atlanta. And it was funny that he only lived maybe 5 miles away from where we lived at, which is, some things happen just to happen. And, just want to start out with, that's where we met Chase at. And that was a great place to meet him. And it's not meeting at the event, it's where we met him at in his life. And what he told us and what you told us about you doing what you were doing at the event is how much of a grower and how much of a learner that you are. And, that's just one of the key ingredients that will always lead to success, because all of us, we can lose money, but we can never lose information that we've obtained over time, that professional development that I know that you embody. So without further ado, could you give us more of a backstory about who you are, and also if you wanted to add on to, when you met us at that $1 Million Mastermind in Dallas last year?
Yeah, and thank you again, Jason, for doing this today. I think it's cool to elaborate on how this all happened, because taking it back a little bit, Ryan had an awesome event out in Dallas. Really spent some of the last few dollars I had just to make it out there and be in that culture of winning and culture of learning too. But there was another really, really great guy is Danny Galvez. He's a guy that works with Ryan Stewman. He had reached out and was looking for, I think, just 5 volunteers to help out at the event. And it was, hey, if you come out here a day early and volunteer, help us get set up. And it was work too. It wasn't easy stuff. It was easy stuff, simple stuff, but it was work. So
it was better than digging a ditch, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it was like, hey, if you come out here and you volunteer, we'll let you be part of the VIP event the night prior, which is something that you and Tracy were part of, along with some of the best digital marketers in the world, best people in the mortgage industry, coaching industry, etc. So I just wanted to be around those kind of people. So I did volunteer. I didn't have $1,000 to make it to that VIP event. So that is kind of how we first met. And that is the same night. I think it was the same night where I had that conversation with Ryan, where he's like, hey, honestly, man, if I were you, I would just go work with Tracy and Jason. So that's exactly what I did. But who am I? I'm a guy that, I thought that I could do it all myself. I always wanted to make a big impact and help a lot of people. I knew that I could do that with real estate. I just didn't necessarily know how. I saw kind of the old way of doing things in the industry. And then I got around all these digital marketers and caught light of some new ways of doing things and even, working smarter, not harder. But the problem is I tried to do everything on myself for a while. So I'm a guy that learned the hard way through time and money, that getting in the right environment is the #1 key to to my success so far. So
they say environment is stronger than will. That
Believe that.
Jim Rohn says we're the average of the top 5 that we spend the most time with. So I agree with you 100%. What was it about the environment that changed things for you?
Well, it was a team. I didn't have to do every single thing on my own anymore. So it was the fact that everything is specialized. I got to focus on one role instead of like 12. With that, with not having to focus on 11 other different roles, it was a lot less financially restraining as well. It was a lower barrier to entry, if you will, just being able to focus on that one role, which is going out and selling homes. What was the second part of your question?
Actually, because I have severe ADHD, I was completely thinking about something else. And what I've been contemplating for a couple of weeks now is something that, even going back to my childhood, and you can probably go back to your childhood, back in your mind, because you played sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I was going back to is when I played sports, that the A players always hung out together.
Yeah.
Little group hung out together. The players that weren't good, and they're usually the gossipers as well, the ones that used to like to talk shit all the time and talk shit about the other players and the coaches, and pretty much victim. For some reason, the A players and the C players never hung out much. And then looking back, through my professional career, different types of very fast-paced sales organizations, it was the exact same thing. And that's one thing that, and even here through the years, our average agent this year should sell around 36 to 37 homes on average per agent is what the average number is. So, what makes it to where, what do you think that is to where, A players like to chill with other A players, and the same thing goes, I guess gossipers like to, hang out with other gossipers too, the C players, the victims.
So Eric Thomas has this episode where he says, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why it is this way, but winners win and losers lose. And that's just like, that's all there is to it. Now, at the time, I was losing. So all I did to change that was get in a group of winners. If you're at the point where you're young in your career, or even if you feel like you're losing like I was, I knew that I didn't have a whole lot of, at the time, money to offer up. But my value to offer up was in time and, just being a sponge and then contributing and helping those winners. I knew that it would pay off. The second thing is the Campfire Effect. And I don't know who deemed that term as something I heard of a long time ago, is just, when you're sitting around the campfire, when you're sitting around success and activity and, selling a bunch of homes left and right, like you said, a fast-paced organization, just sticking close to that fire keeps you warm and it keeps you fired up. The further you get away from that activity and that campfire, you get cold and you stop doing the things that, you need to do to be successful. So that's something that I always think of.
That's good, bro. I like that. That was really good.
And that's why I'm in the office right now, is because I like being here. There's activity. Everybody's always moving. You hear the ISAs in the background, making, setting appointments, and just being around that activity is very key to, to keep going, I guess.
Motion creates emotion. And that's just something made me think of that. I don't know why I just brainstormed it out right here on the Facebook Live, but just being open, raw, and real. And for clarity, we currently have an amazing group of A players here that play all out together. So what does your business currently look like?
So right now, I've hit 27 sales through, since January 1 of this year. My goal is 45 sales, 12.5 million in volume, which I am on track for. I'll be at 30 by the end of this weekend. But I also passed 12.5 just by hitting the 45. What I really did was I undershot. I thought my average sales price would be lower than what it is. So I'll end up passing 12.5 for the year. And that is freaking mind blowing to be able to even say that. I remember when you guys first,
Why?
because when I first came here, well, I was trying to do it all on my own. Like I had sold a few homes and just freaking struggled for forever. But when I first came here, the number one thing that stood out to me was the board, the production board in the training room back here. And I didn't even know the people on the board yet, but I just saw these names and it was like 12 million, 12 million, 12 million, 11 million, 10 million, and now those same people are already at 13 million. We've still got months to go. So anyways, I saw that and I was just like, that's the kind of environment that I want to be in. It's not part-time people here for, the little luncheons and stuff like that, which I had experienced in other places. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't for me. I have goals and like, I have to, make a name for myself and earn a living. So, but anyways, that was what it was for me, was just seeing that. And I wanted to be part of that environment.
Yeah. And I've got a question for you. Because I know you, not everyone on the call knows you, but I know for you, it's not about the money that you achieve. It's not about, the money helps, but as someone once told me, money is just a scorecard, and the scorecard is for how much value that you're delivering back to the world, right? That's all that it is. It's not even real. It's just a scorecard. My friend Michael Reese told me that one time, and it stuck with me. But what does it do for you, and who do you become by you achieving, $12.5 million in your first year with us, first full year?
So I was actually just about to say what you said, and it's probably because I heard it from you. But yeah, I was going to say it's like money and sales volume, all that. It's just a metric to track contribution, and changing those families' lives. So what it does for me is I genuinely love helping people. I genuinely love being the go-to guy. Like I enjoy being the guy at the end where they're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much!" Like, because it's not all about me, but I do know that I helped make them happen. Like my favorite thing is helping, especially, first time home buyers, helping them get from their current situation to their goal situation. And, if you really embody that consultant nature and you want to help people succeed versus just get a sale, then you find out what their actual goals are. You actually learn about the person. So it becomes a personal responsibility, like strategy of preeminence. You become personally accountable to helping them achieve their goals. And then when they do achieve it at the closing table, that's the best feeling. So it's not like about me, but I do enjoy being the guy that is able to, kind of put the team on my back and carry them to their goal situation.
With all this craziness going on in the world right now, how has COVID and rioting and all kind of and elections coming up, how has that affected your business? And what's been the driving factor for you to keep moving on as you have been?
I would say it's sped up my business. It's impacted it in a positive way. And I think what has kept me going is just gratitude. I remember in like February, March, when things started getting really weird all of a sudden, nobody really knew what was going to happen. So it made it like something you say all the time, love the one you're with. It made it to where every single lead, every single client, every phone call, every day really became super, super important and not to be taken for granted. And honestly, I think just looking at it that way, not like having a lot of uncertainty for the future, just looking at my business that way is what really just kept me focused. It was all of a sudden I didn't have time to worry about what was happening in the world because I was too busy helping these people, get from current to goal situation.
It gave you if I'm hearing you right, and I think I am, it sounds like it gave you a greater sense of urgency to help these people out as quickly as possible too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, with all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now, which you only have to tune into the news for about 3 minutes to have your mind blown with negativity. What's helped you stay focused through these past 6 months or so? I can't believe it's already going on like 5, 6 months with all this COVID stuff.
Yeah, it has flown by. Yeah, I don't watch the news. I despise the news. That's for a separate conversation, but
No,
I
it's probably
despise
for
it.
this conversation because that's
Well,
probably one of the things that's helped you stay focused.
yeah, I just hate it. I just see it for what it is. It's a money making machine. It's all clickbait. People emotionally and subconsciously respond to negativity more than they do to positivity. So that's why it's always negative. But that's why I hate it, because I would much rather have a positive news, but that just doesn't exist for whatever reason. But what's helped me stay focused is, I've never considered myself a numbers person, like a numbers oriented person. And I think that was honestly a huge downfall. One thing that I learned this year was just getting better at tracking, and taking my big goal, the BHAG, as you say, and breaking it down into, something that I could achieve. And for me, it was a quarterly goal. For whatever reason, to me, selling 11 homes in a quarter was more doable in my mind than 3.5 homes a month. So that's what's kept me focused. I'm always thinking 11, the number 11. Like and I track the days. I've got, I think even right now it's like 57 days left in the quarter to get to 11, and I'm on track for that. So just tracking the numbers and then keeping that goal in mind at all times and making it simple. 11, like how much more simple can it get than one number? So
Love
that's
it.
what's helped me out.
So it's just 11. Just
That's it. That's all I think about. 11.
the trigger in your mind of 11 homes per quarter.
Yeah.
Not just doing that because I know you take massive action. It just doesn't come to you. And I think that's where a lot of folks are misled into this business. Tracy and I spoke about it on the meeting this morning because someone asked a question about, God seems like we're having to do both sides of a bunch of these deals now because either A, the agent doesn't know what they're doing or isn't doing what they're supposed to on the other side. And, I think a consensus is, there's a lot of brand new agents in the industry because the industry has been hot for several years. And that's not knocking them because you and I were new at one time and we had dreams and aspirations. But maybe their training and growth and development and coaching isn't what it needs to be. The industry, and I'm not talking about any specific brokerage. I'm just saying the industry as a whole. Maybe the standards just aren't where they should be.
Yeah, I mean that's very obvious. Honestly, if you're in the industry, that's what you're saying is very obvious. And I've experienced different brokerages, and we're not going down that road. I know that's not what it's about, but it just comes down to the environment. That's all it is. It's not one's better than the other, blah blah blah. It's just the environment. But yeah, definitely. COVID has, and honestly, it is a great opportunity if you really think about it to become an agent right now. Due to COVID, a lot of stuff has moved online. A lot of sales positions have vanished in a matter of a month. So it's like, I don't blame these people for jumping in. It is a great time to become an agent right now. But to your point, they're jumping in probably in the wrong environment or without the proper guidance, whatever it is, something's lacking. And it's creating a negative experience, number one, for the client, but also for other agents who are co-oping on the deal. So I'm all for that. I think people should be jumping in and becoming agents right now, but they just need that proper guidance and training.
Love it. And I agree with you 100%. Through all this stuff, has there been a mindset shift for you? If we look ahead in time, if we go to August the 5th of 2021, So we're not sitting in August 5th, 2020. We're sitting a year from now, after we're all out of this, after America is out of this, after the world is out of this pandemic. How can you look back on this moment that we're sitting in right now and say, that was actually a great opportunity because I'm a better person and my mindset is better than it's ever been? How has all this changed your mindset?
It has been an amazing opportunity. I mean, it cut out a lot of the distractions. And I think that's the number one thing is focus and going all in. And it's like COVID really, heck, and I love these people, don't get me wrong, but it's like, you can't hang out as much. You can't hit up the bar as much. These distractions just kind of went away to where it's like, let's go to work, let's get it done for these people. You combine that with the fact that interest rates, hit all-time lows a couple of times. And there's a lot of people out there who need your help, our help.
They do.
It was a great opportunity. Focus was the number one thing, just getting rid of the distractions. Because God, there's so many distractions. And, I've kind of have that, ADD thing as well or whatever, but just going all in. Yeah. Yeah. I know you feel me on that one. But just going all in on work, and cutting out all the distractions. It's not about being a workaholic even. It's about contribution and actually helping people. That feels way better to me than some of these other distractions, holding up the bar or whatever. So
love it. What kind of, because we may have like some newer agents, or we may have some folks on the call that, they may be doing 1 million or 2 million, 5 million in business, 6 million, and looking to get to 12 million. What are some recommendations that you could help make to them where they could be more impactful and sell more homes, but just aren't sure how to do it?
Yeah, so I would say just get really, really focused on seeking knowledge. I did that. Unfortunately, I had to pay a lot of money, nothing compared to what you pay for it, of course. But what I started out doing was thinking I had to acquire all of this knowledge, coaching programs, the online courses on digital marketing, like all this stuff that is very, very more accessible now than ever. So there's no excuse not to be educating. But I thought that I had to do it myself and ran out of money very quickly. So I would say find someone who has access to that knowledge, someone who can help you shorten the gap, or bridge the gap. Because, I'd put in a long Facebook post the other day, to learn what I've learned from you guys literally would have cost me over $100,000 to access some of these partnerships, training programs, et cetera. So I would say seek knowledge, but even better than that, seek someone who can give you access to the knowledge and shorten the gap. That way you can learn it in a shorter, collapse time, exactly. Shorten the amount of time, but also, save your wallet and just focus. So
love it. What would you say is the one thing that took you from 4 homes in 2019 to 27 homes sold halfway through, well, a little bit over halfway through the year in 2020? From 4 homes in the whole year to 27 homes, and it's just August the 5th.
Yeah, it's
what is the breakthrough at?
It's the focus and the education, of course, like I said, but also, staying in something that you taught me was staying in the number one best use of my time at all time, which they're, lead conversion being the first one, and then being in a face-to-face appointment, and then negotiating contracts, submitting offers, so being able to, if you just look at all of your time, all of the things that we can be doing as agents, which is a lot of stuff because we're running a business. But if you really just focus on those 3 things, lead conversion, face-to-face appointments, and negotiating contracts or submitting offers, that is what has helped me get from 4 to 27 so far this year, because I had so much stuff in my mind, stuff that I thought that I was responsible for because I was trying to do it on my own. So I was responsible for it, that I wasn't really getting anything done, kind of jumping from thing to thing. So focusing on that, the number one best use of my time, as you say, that is what helped me get from 4 to 27 so far.
Love it. And that's the number one thing is face-to-face appointments, being in a face-to-face appointment, listing appointment, or a buyer appointment. Number two, negotiating a contract. Number three, in lead conversion / prospecting. If you, and I look down because I have some notes here, just so I can stay on track with my ADHD. What would you say is, if you could go back to how long you been in real estate? I was trying to remember.
I've had my license for close to 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could go back 4 years in time and give yourself one huge, big piece of advice, what would you tell yourself of 4 years ago that would make your life easier that you learned this year?
I would say start sooner on focusing on other people. Like for the longest time, it was all about me, and I didn't even realize it. It was all about me, how I can build my business, what I can do, all this. So just that subtle transition from everything being about yourself and really protecting your ego, to transitioning to, hey, I'm going to do whatever it freaking takes to see this other person succeed, aka a client. That's what I would do much sooner. I would forget the ego. I would ditch some of the distractions, and just focused on other people sooner. It would have saved me a lot of time.
Love it, love it. And congratulations, Chase is now our director of agent growth here at Real Estate Expert Advisors. One thing that we are doing right now is we are opening up a complimentary 30-minute coaching consultation with Chase or myself. Anything that we can do to help you guys out with your business. One promise we make to you is that we will not try recruiting you through your 30-minute consultation, but anything that we can do to, help you, if you're currently stuck and you feel that you're stuck, how can we help you get your business unstuck? Whatever stuck is to you, stuck may be, hey, I'm at, 5 transactions and I'm looking to get to 40 like Chase, or, hey, I'm at 100 transactions and we're looking to get to 200, or, we're at 300 and we're looking to get to 600 transactions. That's definitely some of the stuff that's in Tracy and my wheelhouse to help you get your business unstuck in real estate, move to where you want to move to. Not only move your business where you want your business to move to, but also move your life to where most importantly, move your life to where you want your life to be, because, as Tony Robbins says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Is there anything that you wanted to close out with, Chase?
Yeah, I would just add, like Tony Robbins thing there, Zig Ziglar's thing, helping up people get what they want and you'll get what you want. So if you're somebody that, if you ask yourself, am I really living up to what I wanted to do when I first got in real estate? And the answer is no. Or if you just feel like, you have more in the tank, but maybe you don't know how to, hit that gas pedal, definitely reach out to us. Like you said, it's a coaching call. It's truly to give back and help out. It's not a recruitment call. So we'd love to hear from you, but if not, no worries too. So I'll end it with that.
And I'll end it with this. Jay Abraham, because I'm writing a report right now based on the strategy of preeminence. I'm almost finished with the report. And Jay says when he's delivering the strategy of preeminence, that, is not, the question is not, am I worthy of this goal? The right question is this goal worthy of me. And I'll just leave with that, because I know everyone, got started out in real estate for a reason. You had dreams, you had goals, you had aspirations, and probably most of you on the call, if you're in real estate, you have goals that you set for yourself that hopefully you're achieving those goals or getting close to them. But also just doing a checkup from the neck up and making sure that those goals you set are the right ones, and are they worthy of you? And those are, again, we'll hop on the call, help you out with anything that we can with your business. And shoot, I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for being on, Chase.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
You too.